listening to the LOZ Podcast Network.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the LOZ Podcast Network. My name is Ken Lawler. You are either watching us in the LOZ app or you're listening to us on KRMS radio on Saturdays from 10 to 11 a.m. We call it the Big Simulcast. We love our collaboration with KRMS, and you can also listen to any of their stations in the LOZ app. It's real simple. You open up the app, you go to the media button and tap on any station you want to listen to, and it'll play through your car, your boat, your headset, your phone, whatever it is. It's right there. It takes one tap. It's awesome. And I would suggest you do that every day on KRMS from 4 to 6 because you can listen to this guy, Kevin Burns. KB, how you doing?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me back on the program. This is like a real rarity. We've got a small thing going. Normally once, possibly twice, but 3 or 4 times. Come on, Ken. You must have lost your mind a little bit. Letting me back on.
Well, you know, we got a standing thing on your show. You're coming on my show. It's a good cross promotion. Listen, I love the things you're doing for the community. You're a local guy. We're a local app. We love celebrating local, and I know you do on your show as well. And that means a lot to us because I think that's kind of lost sometimes is that, you know what, it's a big community now. The lake's growing, but it's still just made up of a bunch of people trying to make their way through life, live well, work, raise a family. And we like supporting that in the LOZ app. And I know you do as well.
You know, I started out this gig doing mornings some years ago on KRMS, and we really touch on a lot of the national stuff in the morning, and that's important to people as they're going to work, getting their day started. They want to know what's been going on while they're sleeping, and they come to and they're like, "Oh, what's the president up to?" Well, on my show, we kind of go the opposite direction. Keep it local. I love talking to local people about local causes, local businesses, as you so well know, because you're all about the local thing. And for people who check out the LOZ app, man, this is so local. It's crazy, but it's a good crazy if there's such a thing, and there is with my buddy Ken over here. But we have a lot of fun, and you know, there's so much going on at the lake. We could rival any national newscast or anything along those lines, and just fill it up with all the cool local stuff, man. I love local. I love the people. I love doing whatever I can do to, you know, get the word out. We're the purveyors of information on KRMS, and I love doing it locally, Ken.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that's one thing that, you know, with the LOZ app 2.0, the Deuce, that we just came out with, we moved events to the front of the app. We moved 2 things to the front of the app that you never have to even click on now. You get weather, 5 days of weather all the time. And I know if you've ever gone to an app and tried to find weather for the day, it takes you 18 clicks and 4 ads to get through. Not on the LOZ app. You open it up and the weather's sitting right there for you. And events are right there on the front page too. And we have a little scroll of events and you can kind of go through and they're kind of set up so that whoever's next is first. But I know you do a ton of promotion for events on your show. We just had a big one this past weekend with the shootout offshore, a huge success, lots of people coming into town, lots of people spending a lot of money. I'll tell you, KB, when those guys come into town, they spend some money.
Yeah. And it's very apparent when you see 60 Cadillac V's driving around all over the lake. And after the event was over, I saw them. Yeah. You got to drive one of those bad boys. That's awesome. And you said it had 8 miles on it when you jumped behind the wheel there, which means
it did not have 8 miles when I gave it back.
No, of course not. But here's the cool thing. They had them all set up and ready to get picked up and sent back, I guess, to Texas where they came from. And they were all parked over there by the Convention and Visitor Bureau office, which was cool. You just look down the street there and they're all 60 of them just sitting there ready to go. I went by and I kind of touched the door handle of each one. One of these suckers, it's 60 of them. One of these has got to be open.
Well, that's what $10 million worth of inventory looks like on a street. That's what they brought in. It was a crazy number. We had a blast driving those around. A lot of the race teams drove them around. But I'll tell you what was really cool. I was down in the Strip on Saturday, and I was driving my race team around because, you know, the LOZ app now has a boat.
Yes, sir.
We sponsor a boat. We got 3rd place in the 400 class. We're so excited about that.
Very cool.
But what a neat thing to be involved with as a major sponsor for one of those boats. We would get a big kick out of that. But my job was I have a side-by-side that's all decorated LOZ app offshore racing, and I drove my team around up and down the strip where they had to get to because the boat was on one side. But you know what I saw, KB, is I saw every restaurant that I looked into, I saw a table of 12 people from one team and 13 people from another team, and they don't come into town and race. They come in town and they go to all the restaurants and all the places and stay at all the VRBOs or the hotels or the resorts. They bring so much money and fun, and they really spread it around while they're in town.
You got to love that. We're fortunate to live in a place where we live because we do get some unique events that come to the lake. You've got the offshore boat races. You've got the shootout coming up, of course, in August. You've got a lot of different events. My good buddy Ron Dugan with Cannonball Run out at Captain Ron's, which you talk about a local event. Get this, he incorporates local businesses. And if you spend money at these local businesses during a certain period and you get a receipt, you take it over. It kind of helps you draw a poker hand. Now, last year, he didn't give away just $25,000. He gave away $50,000, was able to give away nearly $100,000 to local charities. And this is a win-win. You got all these charities that are winning. You've got people that are $25,000 richer each. And interesting story there. They turned around and donated some money back to their local fire departments. And then on top of it all of the local businesses that get involved in Cannonball Run. Ron's already got 75 businesses lined up for this year. And if you want to be a business, just reach out to the folks over there at Captain Ron's. But get this, in the period, they track nearly $500,000 in sales, and take that little shot in the arm locally and go crazy with it.
It's great. I mean, this community is so giving. Everybody gives back. There's so many things going on this summer that are, we just had the Vivi Joe poker run and, raise money for kids' cancer research. And then you got the Cannonball Run, and you got the shootout events that are going on every weekend leading up to the big shootout and starting off with the offshore we just had. This is such a giving community. I tell people all the time, if you want to give something of yourself, you don't always have to give money. You can go to shootouthelpers.com, sign up to be a volunteer. And then the cool thing about it is, if you volunteer 5 hours at the end of the season, whatever those 5 hours were worth in charity dollars, you can donate them to the charity of your choice out of like 38 different charities.
That's really cool.
It doesn't always take money. Sometimes it just takes some of your time and effort. And I like that because, sometimes people are struggling on themselves. They don't have a lot of cash to give, but they have time to give.
Yes.
And I love that about the lake. Everybody just jumps out and goes for it.
Well, as is the case with a lot of these events, you can't pay all these people work, so they ask for volunteers. Volunteers are the backbone of these events, Ken, as you well know, because, as you said, people want to do something, and maybe they just want to help out, and they can help out parking cars or, directing people to various places or doing whatever is necessary to make the event successful. Volunteers, volunteers, volunteers. So we love the volunteers. Keep doing what you're doing, folks, because without volunteers, these events go...
And it's just so crazy to see where the lake's gone to and how big everything's gotten. But I want to tell you something, KB. We are working on a little idea. I think I teased it on your show, but we have got a program that we're going to start. We're going to start shooting, which is called the Jeffries Sessions. And the reason it's called the Jeffries Sessions is because Jeff, the chef over at Jeffries, came up with this idea. I'd love to say it was mine, but it was his. But he always has these stories from the past. He's been around the lake forever. He talks to everybody who's been around the lake forever. And we started talking one day and we said, you know what, we need to get a podcast / radio program to talk to these people around the lake who were here a bunch of years ago and who started out when you couldn't get bread and milk on a January day. That's not too long ago that was the case. But, we're going to have guys like Matt Dinky, whose dad, Burton Dinky, started Tantera.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk to the Browns for the Lodge. We're going to talk to a bunch of people around town. I think it's going to be so interesting to get these people on tape and to really talk about the fun stories. And look, we're going to go towards the really fun stuff. there's a lot of stories that happen down here. Ken Kenzie, who's our leader over there at KRMS, told me a story. I don't know if you know the Cervantes. It's a big name in St. Louis. They're a big name. I don't know how many years ago this was, 50 years, 60 years ago. One of the Cervantes came down. He owned some cabins where the lodge is, and he decided he wanted to get that HH paved because it was a gravel road. Nobody was going to come down a gravel road to go to the cabins, right? So he invited a bunch of his buddies down, and he said, you can come down and stay for free, but the only thing is each of you has to bring your own car. And when you get down here, you got to drive all around here, and you got to drive in and out and in and out. They said, okay, well, I mean, for free, we'll do it. Well, what he was getting at was he wanted MoDOT to see all the traffic and all the tire marks going in and out of that gravel road. So they came along and said, we got to pave that here.
Yes, sir.
And it worked. I mean, think about that, though. I mean, that's a story that needs to be told.
That story, and with a lot of the restaurant people, so many of them have been in the lake area for a long time. They've moved around. They've worked together. Probably some of the guys that'll be on the show, the Jeffrey Sessions, will be able to go all the way back to the days when maybe they were a dishwasher or a prep cook or something like that, and how they built and come up the ladder to where they are today. So there are plenty of stories, some fun, some maybe a little interesting, probably some history in there, and a couple of stories I'm sure that'll really make people kind of go, wow, as to what you just talked about.
Listen, buddy, I'm glad to have you on the show again. We're going to do more of this, and I appreciate you coming on today and talking a little bit about local with me on the LOZ Podcast Network.
I appreciate it very much. Real quick plug, Heroes Outreach Program car show going on today until 2 o'clock at Home Depot parking lot. Go see the veterans cars and see what the Heroes Outreach Program is all about. My buddy Big John Morlock, he runs that. And again, they'd love to talk about volunteers. They'd love to have help, veterans, first responders. It's all about those folks.
That's awesome. Guys, get out there, support KB and what he does. And I appreciate you, buddy. We'll have you on the next show.
All right, man. My pleasure. Thank you, sir.
All right, everybody. We'll be right back after these messages.